Welcome to the second installment of Perpetual, the trilogy. If you followed the first installment, it was a summary of the trilogy, which begins with Search, the first book in the series, which is Search, and the second book in the series, which is Assassins. We'll eventually get to that. And the third book in the series, which is Abducted. And you can purchase these wherever books are sold, or go to brianhuey.com and you'll find all three books and how to purchase them. And you can also reach me directly and I'll send you signed editions for a short period of time, and I look forward to doing that. So what I'm going to do today is read you the prologue. If you've already heard it, you can move to the next episode, and that is in the book Search. And I want to first read something that a lot of folks really like reading, and they write me about them and ask what the purpose of each one of these quotes are. See if you can tell who wrote the quote before I tell you the name of the person. When bad men combine, the good must associate, else they will fall one by one, an unpitied sacrifice in a contemptible struggle. Who was that? Edmund Burke. All have failed to match our dreams of perfection. So I rate us on the basis of our splendid failures to do the impossible. Who said that? William Faulkner. When I see a man on a bicycle, I do not despair for the future of the human race. H.G. Wells. All of these writers and philosophers are mentioned again in the books. I really didn't think about that until just now. What is the use of a house if you haven't got a tolerable planet to put it on? Okay, somebody has to have guessed that one. That was Henry David Thoreau. The prologue, Perpetual, Book 1, Search. Revelations, March 17th, 1995. Matthew Thaddeus Eaton sat on the tow truck beside Marcus, the manager of the Miami Beach Shell Station. The VW bus hung off the back of the truck. It was after midnight, and they could hear the faint sound of the South Beach Entertainment coming to life a few blocks away. He helped Maria into the cab, turned his attention toward a man standing down the street. Cracker Jack. Cracker Jack was a head taller than the two FBI agents that were with him. They talked in front of the Cuban diner where Matthew and Maria had spent the last hour mesmerized by Cracker Jack's tale of intrigue. Marcus maneuvered the wrecker out of the parking lot with the VW bus in tow. Gunfire erupted. Bahar! Marcus yelled for them to get down. Matthew pushed Maria toward the floor as a bullet tore through the door. The gears ground from first to second, and more cracks of gunfire sounded. We're being shot at, Maria screamed. Marcos, que diablos! In Spanish, Marcos cursed the wrecker's slowness and said, You kids keep down. We'll be out of here in no time. Marcus forced the stick into third gear, hit the gas, and the huge wrecker jerked forward. Matthew looked out the window and his eyes met Cracker Jack's. He saw everything was absorbed, and everything was in detail. He had a recent dream of a plane flying overhead shooting at the VW bus, but he assumed it was because he had read too many Jason Bourne novels. There was no plane, but someone was shooting. Cracker Jack's last words in the diner came back to him. I need your help. You might be my last chance. An FBI agent put his back to Cracker Jack's in the corner of the building. The other was firing across the street. Their only protection? A palm tree. Matthew glanced at the two men taking cover behind a U.S. postal box on the other side of the road. He had assumed they were FBI. Cracker Jack had said he was expecting replacements for his current chaperones, the G-men that had put him under protective custody. Stop the truck, Matthew yelled. We have to help. Cracker Jack told me to get you kids out of here no matter what, Marcos said. I don't care what he said. Cracker Jack's out in the open. With that, Marcos brought the rig to a skidding stop, a dozen feet past the shootout. Matthew reached over Maria to open the door. He saw one of the agents go down. Crackerjack jerked and fell against the wall, landing in the dirt. A patch of red bloomed on his white shirt. The two G-men lay sprawled in the sand. "They shot them! They shot Crackerjack!" Matthew heard someone scream, and then he realized it was his own voice. Under the street lamp, the bodies lay still, covered in blood. "I have to help him," Matthew said, opening the door. Maria put her hands on his chest. No, you'll be shot." Marcus ground the vehicle into gear. The pungent smell of gasoline and exhaust filled the cab. With a tremor in his voice, Marcus said, "It's too late, amigo. It's too late." He barely missed a parked car on a narrowed street before he got the rig under control. They drove 2, 3, 4 blocks before a bullet shattered the rear window inches above Matthew's head. "We have to go back, Marcos. There's a chance he's alive." Marcos grimaced and said, "My job is to get you kids out of here, and that's what I'm going to do." "Your job?" Matthew thought. The rig was pushing 40 as bullets twanged off the back. Before Matthew could yell, the truck barely missed hitting a grizzly man holding a bottle to his lips in one hand and gripping his fully stacked shopping cart in the other. He froze in suspended animation a second before diving like an Olympic athlete out of the path. Marcos swerved and smashed 2 large garbage cans before gaining control. Matthew looked over the shattered rear window at the green sedan that was